And grace and peace to you this day. I'm Laura Lee Kent, the pastor of the Medford United Church of Christ, and I'm so pleased to be the one to welcome you and to say that no matter who you are or where you are on life's journey, you are welcome with us. We're glad you've joined us for this time of worship and want you to know that we now have in-person worship for a limited number of people. If you would like to join us, you may call our office and use the number on one of the slides at the end of the service. Also, I'm going to ask that you take a quick moment and find a piece of paper and a pencil to be used later in the service. After Pentecost, a season of time when we remembered that Jesus' Spirit lives on in each one of us, in the Bible, the early church was described in this way. Day by day, as they spent much time together in the temple, they broke bread at home and ate their food with glad and generous hearts, praising God and having the goodwill of all people. This text comes from the 2nd chapter of Acts, right after the Pentecost story. So over the next few weeks, we are following our ancestors' traditions. We are creating a temple of worship in our hearts, whether we can be physically together or not. By sharing in words and music and breathing and moving together, we will stay connected. The earliest Christians worshiped in their homes before they had churches. And so will some of us until we can all meet again together in our sanctuary. Because at the heart of the matter, we are connected through the Spirit that makes us one in love. And now I invite you to prepare for this time of worship. Center yourselves, be in a comfortable position, and take a deep breath as Mark now plays our prelude. And now we're going to center our hearts as one to begin. Let's take a deep breath together in and out. I invite you to place your hand on your heart, and let's tap gently together in a slow beat rhythm, heartbeat rhythm. Holy living God, heartbeat of creation, help us to take this time to center on you, for you made us, you gave us life, and you continue to be with us every moment, every breath, every step. Hear this assurance from God. Be still, O heart, you're not alone. Your beat is shared with me. Come now and calm and center here, your mind secure and free. Take another deep breath, making sure your shoulders and any tension you feel in your body is letting go with the breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And now take another one. Remember that God's touch is within us, between us, and around us, as close and real as your own beating heart. And this is how close love is to you always. Imagine letting go of your worries for now into the heart of love, of God's love. And hear now this prayer of letting go. Into your care we offer now our worries and fears and strife. We turn to you and know you're near, your light, our love, and life. Amen. It is spring, and there are smiles on people's faces. We are glad for the beautiful weather, glad to be together again, glad for the wondrousness of life. So soak in the beauty of William Cullen Bryant's Hymn to Spring. Is this a time to be cloudy and sad when our Mother Nature laughs around? When even the deep blue heavens look glad and gladness breathes from the blossoming ground? There are notes of joy from the hangbird and wren, and the gossip of swallows through the sky. The ground squirrel gaily chirps by his den, and the wilding bee hums merrily by. The clouds are at play in the azure space, and their shadows at play on the bright green veil, and here they stretch to the frolic chase, and there they roll on the easy gale. There's a dance of leaves in that aspen bower. There's a titter of winds in that beechen tree. There's a smile on the fruit, and a smile on the flower, and a laugh from the brook that runs to the sea. And look at the broad-faced sun, how he smiles on the dewy earth that smiles in his ray, on the leaping waters and gay young isles. Aye, look, he'll smile thy gloom away. This week we read a passage from the account of the book of Acts of the Apostles, and it's a wonderful encouragement and reminder that death is never the last word. This is Acts 24 through 28. God raised him up. God freed him from a death's dreadful grip, since it was impossible for death to hang on him. David says about him, I foresaw that God was always with me. Because God is at my right hand, I won't be shaken. Therefore my heart was glad, and my tongue rejoiced. Moreover, my body will live in hope, because you won't abandon me to the grave, nor permit your Holy One to experience decay. You have shown me the paths of life. Your presence will fill me with happiness.
Slow me down, oh Lord, slow me down. Help my heart to hear your sound. Speak into my life, Lord, speak now. Slow me down, oh Lord, slow me down. Clear my mind, oh Lord, clear my mind. Bring me peace that I cannot find. Take my worried thoughts, break my pride. Clear my mind, oh Lord, clear my mind. Wake my soul, oh Lord, wake my soul. With this mess I've made, make me whole. Of this life called mine, take control. Wake my soul, oh Lord, wake my Slow me down, oh Lord, slow me down. Help my heart to hear your sound. Speak into my life, Lord, speak now. Slow me down, oh Lord, slow me down. Slow me down, oh Lord, slow me down. Slow me down, oh Lord, slow me down.
It may feel odd to move past Pentecost into a season of spring celebration when we're in the midst of rather uncertain and difficult times. Perhaps we're being given an opportunity to really take into consideration that at the heart of Christian faith, people are called to live in the belief that death is not the final word. This is why Christians are sometimes called Easter people. For us, the tomb can become a womb of new life. What would you do differently if you really believed that we are loved beyond all endings? That there was nothing to fear? What will our church do differently as we emerge from the tomb of pandemic? There were two things Jesus wanted the disciples to have in their moment of fear. One was peace, and the other was the Spirit. Taking a breather is one way to see what Jesus offered them. He wanted them to take his breath so that they would feel his Spirit living in them. I invite you to quietly whisper, "Peace be with you." Say it over and over again until you feel the peace in your heart. And when this worship service is over, tell someone else, "Peace be with you." If not in person, you can send a text or make a phone call. What's important is to share some peace with someone else today. It may feel odd to move past Pentecost into a season of spring celebration when we're in the midst of rather uncertain and difficult times. Perhaps we're being given an opportunity to really take into consideration that at the heart of Christian faith, people are called to live in the belief that death is not the final word. This is why Christians are sometimes called Easter people. For us, the tomb can become a womb of new life. What would you do differently if you really believed that we are loved beyond all endings? That there was nothing to fear? What will our church do differently as we emerge from the tomb of pandemic? There were two things Jesus wanted the disciples to have in their moment of fear. One was peace, and the other was the Spirit. Taking a breather is one way to see what Jesus offered them. He wanted them to take his breath so that they would feel his Spirit living in them. I invite you to quietly whisper, "Peace be with you." Say it over and over again until you feel the peace in your heart. And when this worship service is over, tell someone else, "Peace be with you." If not in person, you can send a text or make a phone call. What's important is to share some peace with someone else today. Our theme invites us into gladness. One way we can be glad is to be generous with others and to share about how we are finding strength, hope, love, and peace in these days. This is how we open our hearts to God and to each other. So I'd like for you to take a piece of paper or a card and then think about what sights, sounds, words, and actions. Nature, birds taking a walk, for example. What are the things that act in your life as a voice in your ear that says, "Be glad"? Have you been glad this week? Or if you haven't, remember a time when you felt truly glad. And now take your card or paper and complete this sentence. I feel glad when. And as you're finishing that up, I'm going to invite you to place your card in a place where you will see it throughout this week. And take time to read it at least once a day. Be intentional and seek some gladness each day as well. It is hard right now not to be near some of the people we love and might be worried about. So take a moment and think of the names of people you wish were there right next to you. And as you think of them, name them. They will be present in your heart. Oh, loving God, please hold the people we know and love in your heart. Patty Jensen's friend Carla and her mother Sally, Ronnie Marsh, Don Hughes Sr., Beth Mould, Margie Murch's neighbor Kirk and his brother-in-law Mike, Joanne Aldridge, Brian Wolcott, Sandy Kilgore, Linda Rue and her nephew, Peter Ware's sister Sandra Chotia, Ruth Klaus, Mark Engel Hobson's mother, Ella May, and all of the caregivers in our church. And for those who are grieving, especially Sue Dalkey. We want to open our hearts to the people we cannot name, those whose names we do not know, but we know they need our prayers, and we know that you know their names, O God. For those who have lost loved ones, for those who are sick and recovering, for those who are caring for loved ones who are sick at home, for those who are providing medical care, for those who are separated from loved ones, from those who are feeling alone and isolated, for those who are helping and are so very tired, for those who are struggling to find friends, food, and comfort, for those who are afraid. Oh God, on this day we commemorate Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully for some of us it may be a time of cookouts and family. But keep us mindful it's also a time for us to remember and honor those who lost their lives serving our country and protecting us. We ask that you join in our celebrations, weddings, proms, graduations, births, family gatherings. Lead us, O God, guide us, surround us, fill us and hear us as we offer the prayer that Jesus taught us, saying, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. And now I invite you to take one more breath of spirit as an amen. We know that God sends out our prayers, and the Spirit, breath of God, is blowing from within us outward as a spirit of compassion and presence. And may that Spirit fill the world. I hope you feel a little bit glad, at least. So while you have some energy, send out some of that energy into the world, a world that needs it. What message does the world need? Perhaps you will decide to create a way to let more and more people know about God's promises. I am not alone. I am here. Peace be with you. What can you do to create more love in your household, in your family, in your relationships with those you cannot be with right now? How can you open your heart to those who are working so hard right now? How can you reach out to those who feel no love or comfort? Make your own plan. Make it today. As we close this time together, I want you to remember that God is always with you. No matter what you face, no matter what trials or hardships come your way, God is right beside you, whispering, "Peace be with you," guiding and directing your path. So do not live in fear, but in joy and gladness. Take heart. This is the heart of the matter. And now, go from this time with the grace to never sell yourself short, the grace to be able to risk something big for something good, the grace to remember that the world is too dangerous for anything but the truth, and too small, too very, very small, for anything but love. Amen.